I think the AI will contribute, especially in the photo to video, because this is another thing that we already have ready. We can turn your photos that we edited into a beautiful video that just makes everything move. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it's
Yep.
going to cost you $30. So again, another tool in your pocket to even have videos just made out of photos from your phone to have fantastic marketing. So yeah, the AI is definitely changing marketing, improving and helping. If somebody doesn't need it yet, sooner or later they will. Or just simply because AI makes everything fast, instant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you had to wait 3-4 days for your photos to be edited, for the whole listing package, marketing package to be ready. Now you can get it with us in 24 hours, and we don't use any AI yet. With us, everything is done manually, but still, if we're gonna switch on AI, it might be instant, like in 1 hour, everything ready. The virtual tours are instant.
Yeah.
With photo editing, you still have to wait 24 hours. But yeah, I like AI. I'm not scared of it. But yeah, like everyone has to give it a go.
Yep.
If you're not going to try it, you'll never know what happened to you or what you missed out on.
Hey there, and welcome to the Property Management Podcast. Thank you so much for having me in your ears. And I want to do some real talk today. How many of you are feeling absolutely buried under the noise online right now? And you're scrolling through social media or realestate.com and you're checking out what your competition are doing. And it's like everyone has got pretty much the same photos. Everyone's got the same AI created listing description. Everyone looks pretty much exactly the same. And the landlords, well, they're scrolling through dozens of agencies thinking, why would I pick you over that person? And the pressure to stand out online has become ridiculous. It's exhausting. And here's what kills me. Most of us don't actually have time to become marketing gurus. We're managing properties, we're dealing with tenants, we're handling inspections, running our business. And the last thing we want to do is spend hours figuring out what fancy software or AI can we use, or hiring expensive videographers just to get noticed. But what if the tool to actually differentiate yourself was already in your pocket? What if you could create something that genuinely stops someone scrolling and actually makes them want to engage with you? Or makes you stand out from everybody else online. And this week, I'm talking with Tom Dorawa from Virtual Tour Creators. And he's showing us exactly how to do that using nothing but your iPhone. We're talking about virtual tours, how you can create them in minutes and add floor plans with the click of a button. And here's the bit that really gets me. Use them not just for your marketing, but for your ongoing inspections, condition reports, outgoing inspections. One tool, multiple uses, and a real competitive edge. So if you're tired of feeling like you're playing the same game as everyone else, this one is for you. Tom, welcome to the Property Management Podcast. Before we dive in, can you share with our audience a little bit about yourself and how you got started doing what you do now?
My name is Tom. I started Virtual Tours Creator back in 2016, 17 officially. So we just hit the 9 years mark. The funny accent comes from Poland. I came to Australia 15 years ago and my boat landed in Perth. And I came here with my wife, who is the financial side of this company. We run this company together.
Fantastic. So how did you get into this digital space and property space? What was the sort of catalyst for starting this career trajectory?
Yeah, a series of life happens. First of all, we were trying to buy a house, and we both had very busy jobs, and we didn't have time to go to 7 open houses on the weekend. And we thought there must be a better way. I also have a friend back in Poland who I snowboard with for now 30 years, and he has a big company that does 3D design. So all the renderings of the plan designs. And I started with that in 2015. And in 2016, he came to visit me as my business partner to Australia. And he brought with him a 360 camera, the first one I've ever seen. And I was like, wow, we just did a off the plan development for a developer on the Gold Coast, very prestigious one in Palm Beach on Jefferson Ave. It's one of the famous ones. And he wanted to do another one. We said, Tom, I don't want to pay you $10,000 for building an app every time I want to launch a new development. So I thought, okay, if I create an app that can be recurring and we connect it with those 360 cameras, I might not have to do the open houses and any of the tenants or buyers. So that was that one thing from the perspective of a buyer or a tenant. But on the other hand, as for real estate professionals, I saw that the marketing was not up to scratch. It was a few photos, maybe a video, and it really didn't give the agents, not even mentioning property managers, because back then I had no idea what property management was.
Yeah.
Okay. And I thought there are ways of making it affordable, fast, and even achievable, because even photographers didn't have the 360 cameras. Yeah. So the marketing was just very expensive and time consuming. And for some locations in Australia, you are in the middle of nowhere in Victoria, there's not even a photographer that can help you. So that's the whole idea behind it. I went for a very long trip back to Europe to find developers. And after 3 months, I came back and we started working on a demo.
Fantastic.
That's the story.
So you were one of the early people in this space when it comes to the virtual tour technology. So, and I guess you were the pioneer for changing the way that people were doing marketing of properties, not only the ease of renting and selling a property without somebody having to even look at it, but for potential people who wanting to sell their property or have their property managed and seeing what this virtual tour did for their property is a real game changer for how people started marketing properties, wasn't it?
Yes, oh, absolutely. Like without a question, every single agent that jumped on board with us was getting the results instantly. Yeah, he was getting more eyeballs on the listings. He was getting people from out of state, out of town, or even locals, and saving his time or her time on not having to deal with the tire kickers. Yeah, everyone pre-qualified themselves by looking at the virtual tour.
Yeah. And so talk to me a little bit about you. So your technology is a little bit different. I've used it and it's fantastic. But talk us through how yours is a little bit different to any of the other products that are currently available. And what are the benefits for the product that you use as opposed to one of the bigger sort of branded company products?
We're talking about property management. Yes?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So we focus in the first place on marketing. Yeah. The others are platforms for property management and inspections. Okay. So and nobody has the complete package like us, which is delivered on your iPhone. Everything in one place, in one spot, delivered immediately or in 24 hours. So you can make a virtual tour, a 360 tour for your marketing, for your listings, using your iPhone and a little device that turns it into a professional 360 camera. You can also take professional HDR quality like photographers do on your iPhone. So not one photo, it takes multiple photos and then blends them in to one perfect photo, which we also did for you. Yeah.
Yep.
You saw what happened to your bedroom.
Yep.
And on top of that, we can also make floor plans out of the 360 tours. So you've got one complete package for creating perfect marketing presentation, listing presentation in your phone. And you don't have to wait for anyone. You can do it whenever you like. And it's so affordable that you can't even imagine. Yeah. So how different we are to the big companies. We don't charge you an arm and a leg for that. But also, look, I didn't go down the path of creating property management app. Yeah, like Inspection Manager or Inspection Express. I'm really glad that they did connect the 360 2-day services. That was purely my idea. I pitched it to them because it helps you guys to save time, to streamline your processes. And I'm glad that those who can afford it are using it. Yeah. But we still have about 200 property management companies using us, smaller or even a few bigger, that don't want to spend that much money on the 360 technology, and they're using paying those other companies, but they're using us, and they still use us for ingoings, outgoings, and you can still save 1 or 2 hours on those inspections. Plus, you can use it for routine inspections, which can also become your marketing point of difference if you offer not only virtual tours for marketing, but also for routine inspections. It's a dream come true for landlords to see their property in 360. And I know multiple offices, real estate agencies that sell those virtual tours to landlords for almost $200 per 360 just to see it. So they love it because it allows you to have full transparency. Yeah.
Sorry, from a marketing perspective as well, it's getting harder and harder for agencies to stand out online and have that marketing difference. And the marketing difference, I think, is not necessarily about finding a tenant. The marketing difference is about actually attracting more people to want to work with you. But the lengths that you go to stand out from the other agencies, is that working for your clients from that
Yes.
perspective?
Yes, they winning listings, they grow in rentals. We have multiple BDMs who tell us that this technology is crucial for them to have a point of difference. Yeah. And it's also because they can do it themselves, they can do it whenever it needs to be done. Because sometimes, even if you have a photographer that could do it, they can't be there when you are there. And in rural Australia, there's no other solution than us. Nobody can really deliver that. Yes.
Yeah. And so you not only do you do the 360 though, but you can also, you've got a whole heap of other services. And I think this is really important because a lot of people are in areas that they have only got one choice of a photographer and they don't have a lot of opportunities to stand out, a lot of differentiators from their competitors. So what are some of the other ways that you could say helps an agency in a more of a rural place to, and there still could be a couple of competitors though. Just because it's a small town doesn't mean there's less competition. Sometimes in small towns there's bigger competition. So what could an agency do utilizing some of your suite of products to really accelerate or make their marketing stand out?
First of all, they can offer 360 virtual tours, especially when they're rural. And I know that. And a great example is a lady in Victoria. Because you do it yourself, and even if you had a photographer, he wouldn't go far and beyond to do the virtual tour, including the surrounding points of difference that can be very important or crucial for the people out of town or out of state to know how do the surroundings of the property look like. So she's including the cinema, the barbecue, the park, the playground, the public swimming pool. She puts the church in, and she tells me she gets thousands of eyeballs out of state, and she can sell the property. She's from sales. Sell the property 20 to 50,000 more than the asking price average on the market, simply because there is more people that can bet for the property. But it's the same thing with rentals. Yeah. If you can show the property, I don't know, even in Toowoomba. Recently, I just signed up a business from Toowoomba, independent at realty agent. He says people refused when we had the petrol panic. People told him that they're not going to come to his open house because they can't afford to drive. That's it. Yeah. The times are getting tough. This technology helped. I think we helped about 1,000 offices over COVID in property management just to present properties. So it's still the same thing. Yeah. But on top of the 360 tour, we can make a floor plan out of it, and you don't have to move a finger. You just press a button, order floor plan. That's something in property management that nobody heard of, because nobody can afford in property management to pay $150 for a floor plan. Yeah.
Yep.
And the third thing, so $150 for a floor plan, but if you use us, we can do it for $30. So it's a
Yep.
huge difference. And many of our customers, like in Tasmania, They do those floor plans as a part of their marketing package. It's non-negotiable. 360 tours, floor plans, and professionally edited photos. And this is the part where we also have the app on the iPhone for you to take the photos. Yeah. If there is no photographer, or simply it's difficult for you to pitch to your local landlords saying, oh, we're going to have to charge you, I don't know, $180, $200, $300 for a photography package. You can do it yourself, and you can get with us 10 photos for $20. It's close to nothing. Professionally looking photos. You've seen those photos, Kylie, have you?
Yeah, absolutely. They're very good quality. The talk at the moment is all around AI and disrupting businesses and especially disrupting tech companies and stuff like that. How do you see, and people using AI generated images and stuff like that, how do you see marketing? Is that going to enhance marketing? Is it going to make marketing worse? What should we be aware of when it comes to that AI generated imagery and AI?
Information. Yes. Look, I have to tell you that we did lose about 60 property management companies because they moved away to Inspection Manager or Inspection Express for one reason, that the 360 tours are incorporated in their apps, and it makes everything easier for the agents. But one main reason was also AI descriptions.
Yep.
Now, we don't have those descriptions. We didn't really go down that path. Maybe we will, maybe we won't, if people are going to jump on us, simply because we do not specialize in deeply creating the ingoings or outgoings. We can, if anyone really wants this, but the AI is not always speaking and giving the descriptions to the liking of you guys as property managers. And we just recently had 3 businesses coming back to us, big ones, with rent rolls of 600. One from Brisbane. They went to Inspection Express and everything was fine, but the AI descriptions are not speaking their language. They don't like it, so they still have to write it themselves.
Yep.
So they said, Tom, we might as well do your virtual tours, pay 10 times less, and we're not going to, we have to do those descriptions ourselves anyway. I think the AI will contribute, especially in the photo to video, because this is another thing that we already have ready. We can turn your photos that we edited into a beautiful video that just makes everything move. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it's going to cost you $30. So again, another tool in your pocket to even have videos just made out of photos from your phone to have fantastic marketing. So yeah, the AI is definitely changing marketing, improving and helping. If somebody doesn't need it yet, sooner or later they will. Or just simply because AI makes everything fast, instant. Yeah. Before you had to wait 3-4 days for your photos to be edited, for the whole listing package, marketing package to be ready. Now you can get it with us in 24 hours, and we don't use any AI yet. With us, everything is done manually, but still, if we're gonna switch on AI, it might be instant, like in 1 hour, everything ready. The virtual tours are instant.
Yeah.
With photo editing, you still have to wait 24 hours. But yeah, I like AI. I'm not scared of it. But yeah, like everyone has to give it a go.
Yep.
If you're not going to try it, you'll never know what happened to you or what you missed out on. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I guess for a company like yourself, you're probably sitting there watching what's happening, looking at how you can innovate in your business with it. And I think that's the mindset a lot of property managers need to go into it with, or business owners. How do I innovate my business and enhance my business with this technology? Because it's not going to go away. And I guess that's the same with going into their marketing. How can they enhance their marketing? How can they elevate like the client experience for the client that they're promoting their property for? How can they attract better quality tenants? And that ecosystem of attracting better quality tenants, having better quality clients, it makes everything, the rest of the process in your property management journey, a lot easier. This episode is proudly supported by ALO. And if you've been listening to the show for a while, you've probably noticed what I've noticed. The property managers doing the most interesting work right now keep mentioning the same platform. and I saw it close up at the Harcourt Solutions study tour in Brisbane. The way teams talk about their day has changed. And if you want to hear it for yourself, ALO hosts after-hours intimate events at Mecca stores across Australia, where you can listen to property managers share their own story. So book a demo at alo.io, that's AILO.io, and ALO will send you a Mecca gift card to say thanks.
Oh, absolutely. Just to confirm that, probably an older interview from 6 months ago with one of my property management customers from Sydney. One, to scale up. Everyone wants to scale up. She had 100 listings in Sydney. After 1 year, using our 360 tours, she scaled up, obviously not just thanks to us, but she opened her business in Canberra. She doesn't step foot in Canberra. We just trained one lady, property manager, that runs the business for her over there, and she does all the 360 tours. She grew it to 100 in 1 year, remotely. Yeah, ingoings, outgoings, marketing. So she uses the 360 tours. She uses the photo app, and she will also tell you, that's another clip on our social media you can find with her. It's Radhika from TLS Leasing Specialists, that because she edits the photos, she doesn't just shoot them on the phone, she gets them professionally edited by us. She swears by it that she can get $20 to $30 more on every listing per week.
Wow.
For the landlord, simply because she has better quality marketing that attracts better quality tenants. This is exactly what you just said. That's a confirmation. And one other thing that I forgot is not only you can improve your marketing thanks to using, let's say, 360 tours, you can also increase your revenue. You can make extra money. Some of our customers don't even do photos. She does only the 360 tours for her listings, and she charges her landlords in Sydney $250 per virtual tour.
Amazing.
And she's been doing this now for 7 years. It's a
It is a absolute game changer when it comes to giving that next level marketing. And I think a lot of property management companies that think that they're not sales listings, they don't need to present the properties as well as sales agents. But I think that mindset needs to be wiped out, and property management companies do really need to elevate themselves because they're a business in themselves now. So many people are running rent rolls without even having sales now. And it's, definitely a way to stand out from everybody else online, I think, with using something like your technology.
I think, and that's something that I learned from my customers, some in Melbourne. They say that, look, the landlords do their homework. They check how you present the other landlords' properties. Yeah. And that's why also they are now choosing not to have empty rooms on their listings. They do virtual staging. This is something I didn't even touch on. We do that. I bet to anyone in Australia, we've got the best virtual staging in the country. But they say that they always, or they say they do, they always have at least one cover photo fully furnished. Yeah. And obviously in property management, you're not going to have the $5,000 to spend on the physical finishing that you can in sales because it's vendor pay advertising. And they do it, and the listings stand out. The better quality tenants and better quality landlords start reaching out to them. And he told me that they increased the average after a year of using the virtual tours and virtual staging together. They increased the average weekly rental price from $900 to $1,200 because they started getting better quality landlords reaching out to them saying, hey, we see how you market the properties of others. We want you to take care of our properties.
That's fantastic.
And you know what also their strategy is? And I know it's not very popular in property management, but they don't mind not charging the landlord $29 for one single virtual staging, but they're also planning to get their money back when the time comes when the landlord says, hey, do you want to sell my property?
You did such a good job presenting it for rent. So if somebody was just starting out their own agency and they didn't have a huge budget, what would you recommend in terms of having them add to their marketing to make them stand out and give them the most traction for their business early on?
Yes. To answer that question, I also want to start with saying there is no too small customer for us. Yeah. We have PMs with 10 properties under management. They're just starting. Yeah. And they definitely can't afford to pay for any even software to do that. So first of all, I would invest, if you have an iPhone, I would invest into the device from us that turns your iPhone into a 360 camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that
Yep.
Kylie already tested.
Fantastic. Yes.
And you can get this for $249. Okay. I hope Kylie's going to include the discount code on our
Yes.
website. It's $449, but we have a special for you guys for $249, and that will completely get you started. We also, what's important for you to know, we provide a one-on-one training. So we're not just going to throw it at you and say, off you go. I train you, every single person from your staff or you, myself. I'm the only person doing training in this company, and I will not let you go to do any 360 tours or inspections until you know how to do this. Yeah, we're going to do the training first for as long as it takes. It usually takes half an hour, but if 2 hours, then we still going to cover that. So that's one thing. And once you're going to have your 360 virtual tours, you're going to have the virtual tours creator app on your phone, and you're going to also be able to start shooting your photos. Yeah. Again,
Yep.
if you don't have the budgets, if you want to impress landlords, if you want to grow, you can offer free virtual tours, free routines in 360, free ingoings and outgoings. That's probably non-negotiable. And then photography packages for $20, $30. Absolutely beautifully looking. We make those photos look professional. Look, we also do photo editing for professional photographers. Yeah.
Yep.
So that you know our background. We are professionals. And then out of all of this, if you want on top, cherry on top, you can also have floor plans for landlords for those listings. And that will definitely give you a fantastic looking listing presentation when you stand in front of a landlord.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I have used your product and it is amazing and it is a great solution. If you don't have a lot of, I mean, it's good for high volume as well, but if you don't have a lot of high volume stuff, it is fantastic quality and as good as anything out there on the market. I am in the middle of a flu. Actually, I'm at the start of a flu. That's why I'm sounding very sniffly. So, can I maybe just ask you on one of the traditions that I asked the last couple of questions is do you have a personal development tool, book, podcast, something that you could recommend our audience?
That would probably have not that much with business. It's more about mental health. 4 years ago, I started doing counseling and psychotherapy with my wife. But 2 years ago, I came across Mankind Project.
Okay.
It's a non-for-profit organization in Australia, has 30 years under the belt from America, and they just changed my mind. They help men deal with their problems. The main issue that they are fighting with is men suicide. I highly recommend any man or any lady listening to this podcast
Yeah.
to go and reach out to a local circle. They have local circles that you can go and you can just sit there with other men that we never did in our life, and you can
Yep.
talk about feelings. Yeah, you can say, I've got problems at work. I can't deal with those landlords. I've got too much pressure. My wife is driving me crazy. My kids are all over my head. I can't live like that. Yeah. I'm bullied at workplace, whatever it is.
Yep.
This just completely changed my life. Yeah.
Yep.
It's helping me stay safe, mentally unload, and have a clear mind to come back home to my family, to be a bit more present, because that's what I'm learning, to be
Yep.
present in the life of my wife and my two little daughters. And then it also helps me not to take everything personally so much in my work. Yeah.
Yep.
When somebody's not happy, because I'm not saying we are perfect and nobody is, especially me, but that helps me deal with my issues and with the pressures on this world where it's just go. And I know now, after 9 years of working with real estate and probably 7 in property management,
Yep.
that your life in property management can be so stressful and so go. So yeah,
Mankind Project. I'll share a
yes,
link to that in the show notes as well.
yes, I believe it's .org or something like that. And they have circles in almost every major town in Australia: Gold Coast, Brisbane, Bellingen, Sydney, Melbourne. cairns. And send your husband there too if you think he might need help, or if he wants to meet some good blokes.
No, he left. He left a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I think his psychotherapy was actually leaving. I think that helped him, but which is fine. But no, that's really nice of you to share something vulnerable like that, because I think too many of us just keep busy to avoid dealing with, and I know I have been guilty of that. We just keep busy, we keep pushing through the workload, especially with your own business. You do take things personally. I've had a couple of emails today in between meetings, and I've got to jump on a couple more calls after this, and I'm trying not to take it personally, and trying not to catastrophize what it means for my business. So having an outlet to share those feelings and share how you're feeling, and sometimes to that presence. Sorry, I need to blow my nose again. It's all happening for me today. But having that outlet and that safe space is really important. So I really appreciate you sharing that. I think, lots of listeners will really appreciate that as well.
And second thing, on the AI,
Yep.
ChatGPT became my personal psychotherapist. I kid you
Yes.
not, because I know some people don't even want to try. They think it's bullshit. You can't imagine how gentle he can be, how explanatory he can be. And now this is my goal, to talk about how to raise my children, being a present and calm parent.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got all the knowledge in the world. You just have
Absolutely.
to ask the question.
You know what? Funnily you should say that, because I was on Claude the other day and I was creating some content and I wanted it to share. I was doing a presentation for a workshop for an agency down in Adelaide, and I wanted it to help me add in my sort of personal stories. And one of the personal stories was around having a heart condition and a stalker. And anyway, at the end of it, I put in all the bullet points, and at the end of it, it gave me my responses. And then it said, "Are you okay? Do you need to speak to somebody about this? That's a lot of trauma." And I was like, "Oh my God." Thank
Yes.
you, Claude. I'm fine. I've done the trauma work, but yeah, it prompted me and asked me, "Am I okay?" So they talk about AI not having feelings or emotions, but it picked up from my words and my stories what I'd been through, and understood that must have been difficult. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I didn't use it for counseling, but I have used it for prompts, and when I've picked up things with my children as well. How do I handle this conversation? What's a good approach to this? And yeah, it's given me some
Look,
good
once he told me to shut up for a week and not try to push my daughter and see what's going to happen. And that did magic. I just shut my mouth. I started trying her to do something. She didn't do it, but at least I don't have the fights with her anymore. I said, okay, it's not my business.
Yeah. I
So,
actually heard somebody else actually that their AI tells them that's enough now. You've been working for too long. You need to go and take a break, and we'll deal with this tomorrow. And then he's pushed back and said, "No, I want to get this finished tonight." And it's, "No, it's not good for your mental health. It's not good for my mental health. You need to take a break, and we'll come back at 9 o'clock tomorrow and resume this session."
oh,
And
wow.
even no matter what he said, "Hey, you work for me," and then it's, "No, I'm saying this for our," like, it's, yeah, it
For your own
really pushed
benefit.
back on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
wow.
which is, yeah, so I think it's really starting to change and evolve. And I don't even think the AI companies really know it's going to end up, or where it's going to take us, or how good or scary it's going to be eventually.
Look, that's another topic. I think that is the one without the bottom, whether it's going to be good or bad. And I think that's my personal opinion. Those big companies, they know what they're doing. They can either use it for good or for bad. We'll see.
See
Yeah,
what,
it all comes down to money for them.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
we never know. But luckily, there is smaller companies. I'm following it very closely. There are smaller companies creating their own models, delivering that as an open source solutions. Probably we're going to end up, I don't know when and how, with funds of OpenAI or Anthropic, with Claude or somebody else. And then the Chinese learning models are coming up for free. So there will be also somewhere a presence for smaller ones that are not influenced by the big companies
Company.
who will have to make a profit of that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
I
Well,
think
that's
there is
definitely a
hope.
topic for another podcast episode,
Yes.
and I'll get you back on for that topic. We'll get a couple of people on for a debate. I've been wanting to have a debate with people about that one. So, yeah, we'll watch this space and we'll bring another
Yes.
podcast about that. Now, for anyone listening, how can they reach out? How can they find out more about your marketing solutions?
Definitely virtualtourscreator.com.au. That's just our website. There's probably even my personal number over there. Anyone can call me anytime they want. Send us an email. You can call my mobile on 0468 638 900 if you want. We are on the Gold Coast. Yeah, and if somebody's watching it overseas, just make sure you don't call me at 2 a.m. because I'm sleeping with my kids. Yeah, but I'll return the phone call.
No, thank you so much, Tom. I love your passion for this work, and it is a fantastic solution for anyone wanting to up-level their marketing. And thank you for putting up with me blowing my nose and sniffling away. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join me on the podcast.
Thank you very much, Kylie. I was looking forward for this conversation for a very long time. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask you a quick favor before you leave this episode? Now, we all know how important reviews are for businesses these days, and mine is no different. If you could spare just a minute to follow, rate, and review this podcast, it would mean a lot to me. In fact, what would get me super excited is if you share this podcast with someone in the industry who you think might need to hear some of the episodes right now. And if you'd like to find out more about working with me or any of the products I have to help you start, grow, or scale your property management business, head to my website, thatpropertymum.com.au, or check out the links in the show notes.